Welcome to Superman Homepage Live, the live Superman fan site program brought to you by supermanhomepage.com. My name is Steve Eunice. In this, our live show for October 23rd, 2024, we're going to be covering a range of topics, including the latest episode of Superman and Lois. He's back. We're going to be talking about James Gunn's comments on when we will likely see a Superman trailer. We're going to be breaking down the next episode of Superman and Lois. We've got heaps of action figures that have been released this past week. And for anyone who is watching via Instagram, you may notice that you're not seeing what's going on right in the middle here. That's because tonight I am joined by just one co-host, and that is my good friend Mark Lax. Welcome, Mark. How you doing?
Hello, Steve. How you doing?
I'm well. Yeah, Michael Bailey unable to join us tonight, so unfortunately he has his new job, which he has taken on, is stuffing up his schedule. As far as I'm just trying to get over here in the middle a little bit, stuffed up his schedule, so he's unable to join us tonight. But he will be with us next week. He assures me. So it's just Mark and I tonight, and we are ploughing ahead without Michael tonight, so we want to thank everyone for joining us. I'm not sure if the YouTube feed is going ahead, so that's something we'll have to look into. We are having a few issues.
I have it on over here, so
It's working?
I can't see. It looks like, yeah.
Okay.
So
Excellent.
far, yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so that seems to be going well. So just if you want to comment, you can both on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. We are broadcasting live tonight. So want to thank our sponsors and patrons, Douglas Meacham, John Patrick Van Pelt, and Tina Murray. Thank you for your support buying us coffee tonight. We appreciate your donation to keep the show free for everybody else. And that's a great way to support the website and our live show. If you're interested, all you have to do is click the join button on YouTube, or you can go to patreon.com/Superman homepage to support the show. So we appreciate Doug, John, and Tina's support in that way. Again, if you are watching via Instagram and you want to see the full picture, because it is in portrait mode where we are broadcasting in landscape mode, you can go to supermanhomepage.com/live to view the full image on screen, and you'll be able to see both Mark and I in our full glory. Oh, well, I shouldn't say full glory because we are clothed. But we will push on with tonight's program. Not seeing any comments on YouTube, but if you assure me that it's going ahead there, then hopefully it's just an issue for people who, or I'm not seeing their comments, but let me check my feed on this thing. Let's see how that's going. It might just be a thing with my software here. But if you notice any comments, Mark, and you want to let me know of any questions people are having, then feel free to throw them my way. All right, we are going to push on with, we start with movie news as we like to do, and to start with what James Gunn had to say at New York Comic Con this past week, where he attended to promote the first trailer for Creature Commandos, the animated movie, which is part of and starting off that new DC universe that he is helming. And he was asked towards the end of the panel about when we might see a possible trailer for the upcoming Superman movie. Here is what James Gunn had to say when asked about the upcoming Superman film. And just be warned, if you're a little bit delicate with some of the some language, he does drop the F-bomb once. So we are giving you a bit of a pre-warning if you have an issue with that. But here is what he had to say.
Superman. We are very, very, very excited. Next summer, Superman. You recently showed off crypto.
Yeah, we have crypto in the house. Yeah, crypto's been something that has been just amazing. We've been working with him in the edit, and he's just he's an incredible part of the story. He was an incredible part of the story to me personally. When I was writing the screenplay, he kind of came in and changed everything up. the movie is going extraordinarily well. We're deep in the process of editing. David Corn Sweat is going to blow people the fuck away. Like,
Sexy.
He is the movie star that that everyone just dreams he could possibly be, and I don't think anyone really understands the depth of this guy's talent. Dramatically, comedically, he's the best physical, action star I've probably ever worked with, except for,
Yeah, take it down a notch.
except for Frank.
Let's take it easy. I've heard
Except for
these
Frank.
stories.
He's an amazing actor, and Rachel Brosnahan, people are going to die for her as Lois. Eddie Gathegi is Mr. Terrific. So it's really been it's been a great process. Where the edit is getting really close to being good. I mean, the movie's good, so it's like I feel good about it, and it's I'm really hard on stuff, so it's been fantastic.
Is there any footage on you? Do you have the trailer on you? Do you have is there a trailer yet?
No, see, now you're teasing them. I don't have a trailer, guys. Don't get too excited. There's no trailer. No Superman trailer.
On the phone?
No, I have some stuff on my phone.
Yeah, I bet you did.
Everybody, let's rush him and get his phone. Yeah.
I took it off me just in case people attacked me.
Smart man.
Somebody in the audience has it. You have to guess who. There's lots of stuff. It won't be too long before we see a trailer, but it's also not going to be too soon.
So there you have it. That was James Gunn's comments at New York Comic Con, and interesting. So soon, but not too soon. So still, possibly, I'm thinking before the end of the year. Definitely in December. Is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I would think so. JP Roach is saying he thinks maybe at the Super Bowl ad, but I think we're going to get it before then. Because the Super Bowl is I think late January, early February. I think we're going to get. I think by the end of the year,
Okay.
we're going to get something.
We'll wait and see. So yeah, that's where we're at with the Superman movie. Still waiting for further details. But in a Variety.com interview this week, Amy Adams, who, as you know, played Lois Lane in the Henry Cavill films, she was asked about her thoughts on Rachel Brosnahan coming in to play the role of Lois Lane in the upcoming 2025 film. And she said, I love her. She's going to be great. Hopefully the role will be infused with her sensibility and her natural humor and strength and wit. So nice comments there from Amy Adams.
Yes, definitely. I would think nothing less of her.
Yeah.
Saying something where nice, and she seems to be excited about seeing her play the part.
Exactly. And obviously she played Lois for the 3 or 4 if you count Zack Snyder's version of the Justice League film. Amy Adams was Lois Lane in all of those films. But she did quip quickly, obviously we know that David Cornsweet is the new Superman, but she wanted to add in that she still thinks Henry Cavill was great as Superman. She says Henry was a brilliant Superman. I offer every Superman like and stuff, but I think he was great. I just wanted to say that. It's so in his spirit. So, and I think we all agree that Henry was a great Superman. And, we've mentioned a number of times on this program how we're disappointed with the way things were handled with the whole Black Adam cameo and coming back and saying he was back and then having the rug pulled out from under him. That was not a great look. But all in all, I think, the 4 films that he starred in, again, 5 if you want to throw in Black Adam, were, he did the role justice, and he is Superman for a whole generation of fans. And hopefully new fans can say the same thing for David Cornsweet when he comes about next year.
I hope so, yeah.
Because I know that there are a lot of fans out there who, for them, Henry Cavill is Superman, and they will not accept anybody else. Just like for a lot of people, Christopher Reeve is Superman, and they will not accept anybody else. If you're a Superman fan, you accept, you don't have to, but I would hope that you would give every actor a chance in the role, because Superman is bigger than any one person. And, there have been many actors who have portrayed Superman, both in live action, animation, lending their voice to the role. And Christopher Reeve wasn't the first. A lot of people think, he's a definitive Superman, but obviously there was George Reeves, Kirk Allen before him. Superman has been played by many actors. Not as many in live action as obviously in animation, but still it's a diverse role, and there are different ways of playing the role. And I'm sure David Corenswet will bring his own sensibilities to the Man of Steel.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Right. I mean, everyone. A lot of people think Henry Cavill's a definitive Superman. I mean, growing up, Christopher Reeve was a definitive Superman, but you know, time moves on, and you can't have the same person playing the same part over and over again.
Exactly.
Obviously, you have different interpretations. The comics too. The comics change. They don't stay the same exact continuity, the same exact story. So, of course, you're going to need somebody new coming in. I mean, it was a shame what happened with that whole thing with Henry Cavill and Black Adam and all that. That was a shame because I mean, I would have loved to have seen another movie with Henry Cavill.
I agree.
But things move on, and that's what happens. And I think David Cornsweet, is going to do a great job.
Agree. And comments on Instagram, which I'm only seeing Instagram comments at the moment, so I apologize to the people on YouTube who I'm not seeing their usual comments the way I usually do, but Mark is. So I'm sure Mark will, as he has already, pipe up whenever we get any new comments. But A1 Superman on Instagram saying, there was no reason to get rid of Henry Cavill. Well, there was. If you're going to start the universe over and start from scratch, you can't have an existing actor from a previous continuity playing the role again when it's a completely new story, completely new universe. So obviously that is something that they have to take into account. So completely new cast for a completely new universe and new story. But I'm with those people who were disappointed with the way Henry Cavill's situation was handled. All right, moving on to... actually, I am seeing some comments, I think. Let me just... viewer activity here. Let me see if I can see... we'll see how we go anyway. All right, moving on. So that's where we're at with the Superman film. Amy Adams comments there. And we now move our attention to the TV side of things, where the latest episode of Superman and Lois... episode 4 of the 4th and final season of the TV series was titled A Perfectly Good Wedding. It did center around mostly the story, or the title of the episode hints towards the fact that we are focusing mainly on Chrissy Beppo and her marriage to Kyle Cushing and the Kent household's involvement in organising that wedding, and the fact that they had to use the Kent barn as a venue because things just didn't work out with the place that she wanted to use for the hall. And so that threw the Kents into the mix as far as the story of the wedding is concerned. And then you've got Lois playing maid of honor, and then you've got Clark being asked to be best man. Obviously, the wedding didn't go ahead as such because of issues between Chrissy and her feelings towards the whole situation. Her and Kyle are still together, and we'll probably down the track tie the knot. We think we probably won't ever see that, but that was one story element of this episode. The other element of the episode was, of course, the fact that Clark comes back. We saw at the end of episode 3 that he breathed, he gasped in the Fortress of Solitude, opened his eyes. The hole in his chest had been repaired with, obviously, the heart that was given by Sam Lane to revive him. And as we predicted, he's not at full capacity. Well, he seems to have all these powers, but there seems to be issues with the sustainability of his powers.
Right. I was very surprised the way the show began. I did not think he was just gonna just show back up, and that was gonna be, and that was gonna be it. Um, I still don't know if I love how they did that. And I mean, I'm not saying we should have seen him in the fortress for 20 minutes and trying to, but I would have liked to have seen a little more. Now, who knows down the line? Maybe there's something we're missing and they're not showing. Um, but yeah, I mean, he's obviously we heard the like you were talking about the heartbeats last week. We can hear the heartbeat when he's flying, and all of a sudden he falls, and and John's there to get him. Um, but yeah, I mean, you would think he wouldn't be to full capacity. Number one, he just came back from the dead, and number two, he does have a human heart. How far that's going to go, I can't say. Obviously, there's still a lot that's going to happen, and I'm sure that human heart is going to play into it somehow. But I don't know. I mean, overall, I mean, I know they want to kind of and try to tie little things up with all the side characters, and I love Chrissy and Kyle. I just think it focused too much. I know it's supposed to focus on them this week. I just think it focused too much on them. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more. I mean, again, we're only getting 10 episodes. Um, so I would have liked to have seen a little bit more with the family, a little bit more with Luther, but I am glad that that they did tie things up with Chrissy and Kyle.
Mm-hmm. Now, I'm getting a few people commenting, or one person in particular commenting, saying thanks for the spoiler. Obviously, we're discussing a show that has aired. It's not, I mean, you're tuning into a Superman show where we've clearly specified in our description and in our intro that we're going to be discussing the latest episode. So if you're thinking this is spoiler material, I apologize if you've heard something you weren't anticipating to hear, but as I said, this is a show that's airing after the episode has aired on the CW. This is what people tune in for each week. This is what we're expected to do. We're a Superman membership program website that discusses everything that's the latest in the world of Superman. So if you are getting caught out and hearing information that you haven't seen yet, again, I apologize, but it's clearly stated at the beginning of our show and in our description what we're going to be discussing. So, tune out now if you don't want to hear any more, because I apologize, but that's what we're here to do. We're here to discuss everything that's the latest in the Superman world. And I know people in the UK especially are feeling really hard done by because they don't get to see these episodes at the same time as everybody else, especially in the US, Canada, and even me in Australia. We're getting to see these episodes now, and I apologise to anybody who's in the UK listening who's getting spoilt, but as I said, it's clearly identified in our description what we're going to be discussing. All right, a few questions from comments. John Patrick Van Pelt saying, after Clark Kent, Superman returns and takes Jonathan to train with his superpowers up north near the Fortress of Solitude, was Clark Kent having a heart attack after falling in the deep snow? Well, it was obvious, and Jonathan says that he heard his heart skip a beat. So obviously there is an issue with the heart not being Superman's own heart, natural heart, a Kryptonian heart. It's doing the job, it's brought him back to life, but it's obviously not 100% what he needs, and obviously that's going to be an ongoing issue, and his powers will falter from time to time. So I don't necessarily think it was a heart attack, but it was heart palpitations, skipping a beat, something along those lines.
Yeah. Hey, for us humans, when something like that happens, yeah, we think heart attack.
Yeah.
But he's still Superman. It's just, yeah, I mean, it's the human heart, whether he still has to get used to it, whether it's not working as well as we think it's going to work. That time will tell. We'll find out probably soon enough. But as far as heart attack, I don't think technically it was a heart attack. No. But again, we have to see how this heart's going to work for him. It's a human heart.
Yeah, and Superman isn't powerless as such. his powers just falter when he's having those heart issues. Because when we saw later on in the episode, he was able to fly to Metropolis and help Jonathan out with the burning building. And, that was a very powerful moment in the episode when he rocks up in the costume and the villain says, "You're supposed to be dead." And then he says, "Not bad for a dead guy." So that was an interesting comment there. What else have we got here? Who was Lois calling late at night from the Daily Planet, along with 3 other messages in the end? So that was not Lois's. She wasn't calling anybody. When her and Clark were in bed later that night, and her phone I think it's Clark's phone. The notifications go off. The phone by the bedside, anyway, goes off with notifications, and they just ignore it. It's all the social media feeds that are blurting out that Superman has been seen, or there's rumors that Superman is back, and there's even a Daily Planet breaking news from the Daily Planet saying Superman returns. So it's leaked. People, Superman was, he said to Lois, "Look, I don't think anybody saw me," kind of thing, but obviously people did, and it's out. And so the next episode will deal with the ramifications of people realizing that Superman is back, especially Lex Luthor, because they're trying to keep that under wraps from Lex, because Lois is worried that if Lex finds out Superman is back, he's going to send the Doomsday Monster, back to finish him off once and for all, because at his current power level, with his powers fluctuating, Doomsday killed him at full power with his proper heart. Yeah. What would happen if he attacked him at this vulnerable state?
Yeah. First of all, it kind of reminds me, all the notices saying, is Superman real, not real? Is it a fake Superman? It kind of reminds me, the reign of the Superman, when the 4 Superman came, and people didn't know, is this the real Superman? Is this a fake Superman? I got that feeling when I saw that. Yeah, well, I don't know. Didn't I forget what name she says, but I guess Gretchen was her, the name she. They not catch her?
That's right. Her and Lois and Jonathan went to confront her when Jordan heard her speaking on the phone and was able to tune into her voice. And so Jonathan and Lois go to confront her. But then when that guy comes with the flamethrower hands to finish Gretchen off, or whatever her real name is, they're distracted, and she escapes. She vanishes anyway. We don't know if she escaped, if she ran off, what it was, but we don't know where she is at this point in time. But they tried to bring her under their care, and Lois tried to put her like in a witness protection type of situation. But and it seemed like she might take up the offer, but unfortunately that didn't get to happen because of the situation that played out.
I just thought maybe she leaked it, or maybe she mentioned something to someone that she saw Superman, and I don't know, but I was just thinking it's possible that she had leaked the news, but I'm sure somebody saw him fly. They saw something, and but we'll find out.
Yeah, exactly. So a question from John again, and apologize for the super chats not working. But he says the only thing he would have changed was the fact that Jordan passed on the superhero jacket and goggles to Jonathan, but will they fit him? Well, Jonathan's a little bit taller, but it's a jacket and goggles. They fit anybody of roughly the same size, and the brothers are twins, so they're not that much different in size, so not an issue as far as I'm concerned. But it was interesting that Jordan said to Jonathan at the end, "Look, I need to take some time out and think about who I am and what I need to do." And so he's stepping back a little bit from that role of superhero, which is an interesting development. And Jonathan having taken to the superpowers like a duck to water, is just reveling in his newfound abilities.
Yeah, I just hope he doesn't take a misstep, which he just might, because I mean, this is still brand new to him. I mean, he got all the powers at once, unlike, Jordan, doing with all the training. But again, he doesn't have the training that Jordan had. So I just hope it's not I hope it's not, he doesn't take a big misstep and something happens. But
Yeah, exactly. Sam Studio on Instagram, good friend of mine, says this might be a hot take, but I think it's Jimmy Olsen who saw him and leaked the information to the Daily Planet, or at the Daily Planet. So yeah, interesting. Somebody else mentioned that they heard the name Jimmy during the episode. I don't remember hearing the name Jimmy, but it could definitely, it could be a possibility, because I believe we are going to be seeing Jimmy later this season. So it could be sooner rather than later.
yeah, no, I don't remember hearing the name come up.
So that was episode 4 of season 4, and we do have a description and a trailer and some photos as well for the next episode, because up until today we didn't have a description for the 5th episode of Superman and Lois season 4. But we now know it's titled Break the Cycle, and the episode description says Lois makes increasingly bold moves as she tries to stop Luthor. Jonathan struggles to balance his personal life and responsibilities, while Clark learns an unsettling truth. And I probably think that the unsettling truth is that everyone knows that Superman is out. Whether the secret identity is also outed is a possibility. We do know that people have joined the dots in Smallville. So we'll wait and see if that plays out the way I think it might. But we got some additional photos as well. Just turning those on now. So there is a flashback, I'm guessing, because we have the old suit, and we also have Lex Luthor with a full head of hair. So I'm guessing this is a flashback sequence where we are seeing the confrontation at an earlier time in history. So I'm glad they kept those suits handy, because obviously they needed to go back and use it.
Yeah, I don't think they'd get rid of any of those suits. I'm sure they'll be hanging around for a while, even long after the show.
So let's have a look at the episode 5 promo. Here it is.
I'm headed back to Smallville.
For what?
To take care of this.
He is going to do something terrible to my family.
I can't just hide.
Do not give up hope, my son.
Luthor is going to send his monster. We are not safe here.
There you have it. So I just want to go back in and just bear with me a sec. I want to freeze frame that Daily Planet.
I'm headed.
Interesting, by Janet Olsen. I don't know who Janet Olsen
you're right.
is. Janet Olsen.
Huh. That's interesting. We know we're going to see Jimmy.
Janet Olsen. Very interesting. Who is Janet Olsen?
Yeah. Janet Olsen.
There you go.
I don't know.
So that is.
I mean, we
Break
do
the
know we're going to
Cycle.
see Jimmy, so it's not, it's not like they're playing a switch and saying, "Oh my God, look, there's a Janet Olsen instead of Jimmy." But we know he's coming, so who knows? That's interesting.
Very
I
interesting.
didn't notice that.
No, I thought I'd freeze frame it to see what was going on there. But we also got a mid-season trailer. Let's have a look at that right now.
Ever since I came back, I haven't felt the same. Starting to wonder if I'm ever going to.
This would change everything.
I just didn't think I was going to get old.
Welcome to being human.
I have a plan. I know exactly how this will end. Luthor came after you and the kids, and he killed your dad. You can't just wait around.
You're not ready to face that thing.
I am coming after everything you have ever loved.
We'll get through this like we always do, as a family.
This time I want to watch Superman die with my own eyes. Not bad for a dead guy. Goodbye, Lois. This will all be over soon enough.
So there you have it. We see a bald Lex. We see him wearing a battle suit similar to Steel's armor. So yeah, I don't know if there's any gaps. John Patrick Van Pelt in the comments says it's also the mid-season finale. I don't know if there's any. I think it's just going to be airing non-stop. I don't think there is any gaps or any pauses in the scheduling of the episodes. I haven't heard of any hiatus like we had in previous seasons. So I imagine that it will just continue on for the next. What are we now? That's 4 episodes done, so 6 to go.
I just think they're saying at this point, this is what's going to be
this is
happening.
where we're at, and this is what you can expect.
Yeah.
Look forward to seeing. Yeah, so it's more just like a mid-season promo rather than worrying about a mid-season finale or break. So, that's where we're at with Superman and Lois. All right, for our Instagram viewers, we are leaving you there. We thank you for joining us. If you want to continue to watch the show in its entirety, we invite you to go to supermanhomepage.com/live to watch the second half hour of our program. All right, for everybody else, we push on and we are going to take a quick, break, play some messages, and then come back on the flip side to continue to talk Superman and Lois. We're also going to do This Week in History. I'm going to take over Michael's segment this week. We've got the fan favorite segment and other stuff to get through, so stick with us. We'll be back right after these messages.
We'll be back in a moment with the exciting climax of today's episode, so stand by.
If you're enjoying Superman Homepage Live, then please like and share this video with your family and friends. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to our YouTube channel, then you can click on the bell to receive notifications whenever we post a new video. You can also join our YouTube membership program, just click the join button below. Or you can become a patron and support our website by going to patreon.com/Superman Homepage.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird.
It's a plane. No, it's SupermanHomepage.com, the #1 Superman fan site in the world. SupermanHomepage.com, covering the world of Superman from the 1930s to today. News, reviews, rumors, and reports. SupermanHomepage.com for all your Superman comics, TV shows, movies, cartoons, radio shows, and more. Everything you ever wanted to know about the Man of Steel and more. SupermanHomepage.com.
Thanks, Superman Homepage, for all the support over the years. I really appreciate it.
I'm Matt Bomer. I'm the voice of Superman in Superman Unbound, and this is the Superman Homepage.
Right here on Superman Homepage.
I mean, it's not like I asked to be famous.
Yeah, well, it's the price you pay.
You sign a lot of autographs?
Oh, yeah, you?
Some. They asked me to bend stuff a lot.
I could see that. What?
It's Lois. She's in trouble.
Did you look through that building?
Well, kind of. It's glass.
Watch it.
Whoa.
Idiot.
Lois!
Superman, I've forgotten my wallet.
I can't carry money in this. I'm powerless.
I'm not.
What's with the spinning? He idolizes me. It's embarrassing.
My hero.
What's that? It's a huge comet hurtling perilously towards Earth. We're doomed! I think you better get this one. You can do more with the American Express card. Wait, could you? It's for my kid.
The old American Express Seinfeld commercials. All right, we are going to continue on with just a quick update on Superman and Lois. We had a update from Bitsy Tulloch, or Elizabeth Tulloch, who plays Lois Lane. She's been hinting for a few months now about some new details on the Superman costume, and then the new Superman suit for season 4, and she gave us these images of the close-ups of the material for the suit. Why haven't I got them? Here we go. Little mini S symbols that are both on the blue, which is a little bit darker, the blue. I don't know if it's just these photos, but even in the TV episode itself, they seemed a little bit darker. But yeah, the little, whoops, taking that off there. The suit details just seem to be little S's all over the suit and in the yellow part of the symbol. Interesting detail.
Yeah, that especially in the yellow, because nobody not that nobody looks at the yellow, but and no, I just think it's interesting having it in the yellow, but no, yeah, little S's. I mean, they sort of look like the actual S, and then at the same time, it just looks like an S. Like, it's hard to say.
Yeah, because it's upside down in
some. I'm looking at it upside down. Some are right side up. You know,
to fit in that.
I guess in order
mesh.
Yeah.
Interesting. So yeah, just some details there that she shared. Obviously, we've seen that before with both Man of Steel's costume. Had that type of, had more like a chain link type of design, but still, even Superman Returns had little S symbols all over the place, both on the suit, the boots, the soles of the boots. It was everywhere. So a little bit of overkill, but here it's a bit more prominent for the season 4 costume, which is an interesting design element that they've included. All right, moving on from the TV side of, actually one more TV element. Teen Titans Go is celebrating its 400th episode in November. And they gave us a first look at the episode via the Cartoon Network's YouTube channel. And there was a little video where the Teen Titans celebrate the fact that they are the longest running animated series of DC history with 400 episodes. And it doesn't go down well with Superman. I'm just going to kind of play a little bit here and there. So bear with me as I kind of forward through the video bit by bit.
Cyborg, hit it!
Justice League should have won. We've been around way longer than you little brats.
Sorry, Superman, but your show only had 93 episodes. You can't hold a candle to our record.
Well, then congratulations on your 400th episode. Because it'll be your last!
What are you doing, Superman?
I'm sending you to a dimension that will end Teen Titans Go forever! So long, boy wonder!
Motion! That's what we are right now! Superman banished us to the most expensive dimension an animated series can be sent to. A stop-motion special.
Yay! Stop!
So that's just a bit of the video that they released for the promoting the 400th episode. Superman seems very out of character there, but
yeah,
it was odd that they chose to use him in that way.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. I mean, any of the heroes would be out of character, but
yeah,
I would see Batman being a little bit, because Batman he was all smiles in that one, and I would think he'd be the one not smiling, but anyway.
So there you have it. Yeah. So yep, that's the November. I think it was November 30th or November 20th. So yeah, in November, 400th episode of Teen Titans Go will air. All right, pushing on to the other news. Let's jump into This Week in History. Here is the intro.
Come with me now, my son, as we break through the bars of your earthly confinement, traveling through time and space.
All right, bear with me as I attempt to click many buttons and do many things at the same time with this software that we use while looking at the information. All right, so we start with Justice League of America number 32, way back in 1964. So nothing in 1944, nothing in 1954 this week. So we jump to 1964, where on October 22nd, we saw the release of Justice League of America number 32. And we can see there Hawkman, he's giving Superman a bit of a hug. Then we've got World's Finest number 146, released the same week, same day, October 22nd, 1964. And we've got Batman, Son of Krypton. Interesting story from the 1960s right there. Righto, then jumping ahead to 1974, we have Superboy and the Legion of, or starring the Legion of Superheroes, number 206. This had the Legion of Superheroes in the Legionnaires who haunted Superboy, and also Welcome Home, Daughter, Now Die were the two stories in this issue. So interesting cover there. We also have in 1984, October 1984, saw the release of Action Comics 563 with an iconic cover there of Mr. Mixius Pitalik having an arm wrestle with, what's his name? Ambush Bug. That was, there was Ambush Bug story titled Black Beauty, and then two Superman stories, Mr. Mixius Pitalik, Media Star, and Jimmy Olsen, Blob. Probably one of Jimmy's many configurations that he went through. Also in 1985, that same week, we saw the release of America versus the Justice Society of number 1, which we've got Superman of Earth 2 there on the cover. So that's an interesting cover there as well. And then in 1984, the same week, we saw World's Finest Comics number 311 with a title that is very triggering. It's titled Hacker. That just it's triggering me at the moment. I don't want to talk about it, so we might push on quickly and move on to 1994, where this week in 1994 we saw the release of Adventures of Superman 518 in a story that was titled The Armageddon Run, and Superman there being attacked by Darkseid in the Dead Again story. Still going. All right, same 1994, that week, Steel, number 10, was released. Blood Guilt was the title of that story. I didn't read Steel at this time. I don't know if you were a fan of the book back then.
I had been reading. I don't know if I was still reading it at this point. I may have been, because I know I when it first came out, I did start reading it.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not I was still reading it at this point, I couldn't tell you.
Then jumping to 2004, a very apt cover for Halloween time of the year. That Healing Touch Part 1 was the name of the interior title of the story. And this obviously features Parasite, or Parasites, as the cover says. So a very ghastly image of Superman being having the life sucked out of him. Also, that same week in 2004, saw the release of Identity Crisis number 5, obviously written by Brad Meltzer. And this one was titled Father's Day. Did you read Identity Crisis?
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Yes, I did.
Big story at the time.
Sometimes, I mean, in one way, I wish I didn't. On the other, hand, it was a good story, but it did some things that I wasn't very happy with.
Yeah. That same week, we saw the release of Teen Titans number 17, and you've got is that a future Superboy or on the cover there?
I think it's supposed to be.
Yeah, big brothers and sisters. So it looks like they're all growing up a little bit there. Also in 2014, this week, we saw the release of Injustice: Gods Among Us Year 3, number 2. And also in 2014, we saw, I don't remember this at all, but it was Multiversity, The Just, number 1, obviously Grant Morrison wrote this, and there is a Superman on the cover, so that's why
Yes,
we included it.
I read Multiversity and I really enjoyed it. I remember reading this one, but I don't think I enjoyed this one as much as some of the others.
Also, that same
I'll say
week, we
that.
saw Futures End number 25, the new 52, and we also had Superman number 35. The Quick Fix was the interior story. This by Jeff Johns with art by John Romita Jr. And I do remember that, but not fondly.
No. Nope.
Not at all.
I can go on and on, but I won't.
You won't. Yeah, good idea. Also, in this week in history, let me grab my calendar quickly. In the real world, we saw the Kents celebrate their traditionally recognised, October 21 is traditionally recognised as the anniversary of Jonathan and Martha Kent's wedding. So that's an interesting one. On October 23rd, Clark Kent proposed to Lois Lane in the issue Superman number 50, and that was the proposal. This was released in 1990, so that was a very iconic and big story at the time. Then Makard Brooks celebrates his birthday on October 17th. Where is it? It is October 25th. Makard Brooks celebrates his birthday. He was born in 1980 in Texas. So happy birthday to Makard Brooks. And speaking of the Supergirl TV series, it debuted on October 26th on CBS back in 2015. So that is an anniversary for what happened this week in history on the front of the world of Superman. So that was this week in history. There you go. I managed to get through it.
Very good.
Thank you. All right, let's jump into the fan favorite segment of our show. All right, Mark, what was our fan favorite question from last week?
Our favorite question was, what is your favorite Bizarro statue, figurine, or action figure?
Okay.
Action figure, excuse me.
Yep, so I think JP Roach was up first. What did he have to say?
Yes, he said, my favorite Bizarro is McFarlane Rebirth Bizarro. Thank you, Patrick Gleason and team.
There you go. So that's a really cool Bizarro right there. And next up, after JP, we had Ramel Kantukan, who said, this is the Bizarro statue I own from the Superman animated series Marquette from DC Direct. I have that one too, and I was going to bring it down and showcase it, but since you've taken such a great photo for us and presented that here for us, Ramel, I will throw my hat in the ring with that one as well. That's a great statue. I love the Bizarro from Superman the animated series.
Mm-hmm. And then we have David Rustage, who wrote, as you didn't get any response to last week's question, I am sending both Brainiac and Bizarro this week.
Thank you, David. So there's obviously Brainiac there on the left and Bizarro there on the right, and he gives us a couple of different angles on that, showing the skull that Brainiac has in his hand. So thank you for doing that for us, David. Appreciate that, and appreciate everyone sending in those images for this week's fan favorite segment. Mark, what is our new question for this week?
New question is, what is your favorite Crypto statue, figurine, or action figure?
Yep, so with Crypto having been announced for the upcoming Superman film next year, I thought I'd throw this one in. So send in your answers to info@supermanhomepage.com. Take photos and send us your favorite Crypto action figures, statues, figurines, whatever you have in your collection. Tell us why it's your favorite. Give us a bit of an explanation. But that is the email address to send your favorite Crypto statues, figurines, or action figures to, and we will get to this segment when we get back to it next show. That was the fan favorite segment of our show. All right, so pushing on, I wanted to make mention, this kind of broke just before the show went to air tonight, and that is the news, sad news, that Ron Ely, who most people will know as Tarzan in the 1960s TV series and some, I think, movies as well. But for Superman fans or Superboy fans as such, Ron Ely played a older version of Superboy, a older Superman, if you like, in a alternate reality. Sadly, he passed away in late September. His family just announced it today. He was 86 years old, I believe it was. So sadly, he has passed away. But 86 is not a bad run. But yeah, our condolences go out to his family and friends. I believe he's only survived by his daughter.
Yeah, I never saw him as Tarzan.
Oh, really?
So I never got to see him as Tarzan. I saw him. He actually used to host a game show.
Oh yes,
that was on. Face the Music or something it was called. I remember him. I remember him hosting that, and then of course I remember him doing this. But unfortunately, I didn't get to see him as Tarzan.
Yeah, no, I remember him fondly as Tarzan. I used to love watching Tarzan as a kid, and obviously I wasn't born in the 60s, but like most things, they get rerun over time, and I remember him fondly as Tarzan, and he wasn't like a monosyllabic Tarzan. He spoke pretty well and was great at it. But our condolences, as I said, for his passing. Ron Ely passing away at age 86. All right, moving on to the solicitations, the comic side of the world of Superman. DC Comics this past week released their January solicitations, and there are some interesting comic books to have a look at. So let's have a quick look at some of those to look into. So to start with, we have, what is this one here? This is Absolute Superman number 3. Years ago on Krypton, Jor-El and Lara became utterly convinced that their planet was headed towards cataclysm. But what could two lonely peons of the Labor Guild possibly do to save their entire species? The answer is decidedly not what you think. So there we have what looks like Jor-El and Lara and Krypto.
Krypto, yeah.
So that's Absolute Superman number 3. And I think Absolute Superman number 1 is coming early next month. So that would be November would be the first issue. So, yeah, this is going to be an interesting variant on the story. Looking forward to seeing how different it is.
Yeah, I would like to read it, or at least the first couple of issues, and see how it goes from there. Because we know it's a whole different universe, a whole different situation. So it's not like it's going to be totally different. Especially if I read Absolute Batman, and that was totally different than the Batman we know. Even though he is Bruce Wayne, so I'm thinking the same kind of thing for this. So it's not like a New 52 situation where this is the new Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so it'll be interesting to see how that pans out and whether the fans enjoy it or not. Also in the solicitations was Superman number 22. A secret alien strike team has arrived on Earth with their sights set on the greatest weapon in the universe, Doomsday, and the only person who can save the ultimate destroyer is Superman. While alien forces rain down on Metropolis, Superwoman trains with her new powers alongside an unlikely instructor, and you will not believe who it is. Dun, dun, dun.
Yep.
Could be probably Lex.
I haven't read the first...
Might be interesting.
I read the first issue, with her Superwoman. So.
And then also there's a special coming out in January, Superman Lex Luthor Special number 1. During the Battle of the House of Brainiac, Lex Luthor's memories were wiped clean, but now after the events of DC All-In Special number 1, the world needs Lex to remember his past. There is a key piece of information in Lex's lost memories that could unlock an epic mystery that plagues Superman and the Justice League. But what if Lex doesn't want to remember? Would Superman sacrifice Lex's newfound peace to solve a secret, even if it means the return of Superman's fiercest rival? Interesting dilemma.
Yes.
And then we also have Action Comics 1082, and you'll be happy to know, Mark, that as reviewer of Action Comics, it goes back to a monthly. So
it goes back to a monthly.
Yeah, you won't be doing weekly issue reviews. But Action Comics 1082 is coming out in January. Superman Superstars continues with an unforgettable tale about Superman's greatest gift to the world, hope. Major disaster returns to Metropolis and his old ways, much to the dismay of the Man of Steel. Can his alter ego Clark Kent discover the reason behind this villain's decline back into the world of crime?
Yes.
So there you have it. They are some of the highlights of the solicitations coming out in January. There's other books there. If you want to check them out in full, head to supermanhomepage.com and you should see it in the comics section of our website. So interesting to see the comics coming out in January, but of course we've still got the rest of October, November and December to actually read the comics that are coming out between now and then. And another comic book that's coming out next year in June, in fact, DC announced a sequel to the Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong series with a promo. Here is a little bit look at that promo. So there you have it. A lot of people got caught out when I posted that on our YouTube channel. They're going, "Don't lie! It's there's no such movie coming on." It's not a movie just because it's a trailer. It doesn't mean it's a movie. It's a comic book series. Like, read the description. It's a comic book series. Does that look like a movie to you? It's comic book panel art. So anyway.
Yeah.
Also, just want to quickly, before we run out of time, touch on the amount of action figures that McFarlane Toys have brought about and shown us this that are available for pre-order at the moment. There was this Christopher Reeve Superman the movie action figure that is available from McFarlane Toys. It comes with different attachments, a cloth cape, which is fantastic. So that's an interesting collectible that is available to pre-order now. It might already be sold out if you're not too slow. There was also a 2-pack of Doomsday and Superman from Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice. That includes multiple attachments, including a kryptonite spear. So that's an interesting one there. And then there was also a Darkseid action figure from the Justice League, Zack Snyder, or actually just the Justice League side of the world. I think Snyder's version was the only one that Darkseid was prominently featured in, because I think the theatrical cut just had what was his name?
Steppenwolf.
I want to say Wolfenstein. That's an old video game. So, and then we've got a sneak peek at New York Comic Con about this False God action figure, and then there was also from Ben Cooper these action figures which mimic the Halloween costumes that were back in the 1970s available. So some interesting figures to look through. But that pretty much brings us to the end of tonight's episode. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to Superman Homepage Live. Thanks to our sponsors and patrons, Douglas Meacham, John Patrick Van Pelt, and Tina Murray. We appreciate your support. Thanks for everyone who tuned in via Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Should have everything back to normal for YouTube next week. And thank you to my co-host, Mark Lax. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Steve.
And Michael Bailey will be joining us again next week as per usual. And speaking of next week, we will be back for our final episode of October it'll be Halloween. No, it won't. It'll be the night before Halloween. So Halloween Eve.
30th.
Halloween Eve, October 30th at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time for a new edition of Superman Homepage Live. Hope you join us then. Until then, be sure to check out supermanhomepage.com for all your daily news updates on everything surrounding the Man of Steel. I'm Steve Eunice on behalf of myself and Mark Lax. Thanks for watching Superman Homepage Live, brought to you by supermanhomepage.com. Good night.